and the coordinator persons with disability at MKU. Karibu sana Dr. Sarah. Thank you so much for making time, all of you. I'll start with you, Dr. Jane. What is addiction?
Addiction is actually a chronic disorder, a compulsive behavior where the person is preoccupied by the drug. It can be substance abuse or non-substance, and they tend to be so much loss of control that they cannot do without the drug, in as much as they may be aware of the negative consequences of the drug that they are taking or the behavior that they are engaging in. And when it comes to addiction, it's also to do with tolerance, where the body actually gets used to the drug, and the person continues to take more amounts without feeling the impact. And it can bring about change in brain chemistry, whereby now the brain gets affected, and that's why we talk about addiction being a chronic, a medical issue. Yes.
Okay, because now your body now craves it.
Yeah, there is that craving. You try to stop, and then you suffer withdrawal symptoms. You shake, you sweat, and the mind again tells you go back to the drug. It's a difficult thing to deal with, but with determination, I think someone can still deal with it.
Dr. Rahab, are there types of addiction?
Yes, there are types of addictions. We have the substance addiction and the non-substance addiction. They are classified into those two. The substance addiction is where one is hooked to chemical substances like alcohol, like nicotine, like cannabis, those chemical substances. The non-substance are the addictions where somebody is hooked to behavioral issues, like gambling, maybe like currently the issues of the phone and the internet issues, you know, those that are behavioral. So they are generally those two. The DSM-5, it puts these issues together, it has overlooked the non-substance addictions. It is focusing more on the substance addictions. And the reason is because not much research has been done concerning the non-chemical addictions. However, although it doesn't appear so much in the DSM-5, it is clear that people get addicted to those non-chemical issues. Like I said, I talked about issues of internet and issues of gambling, and those are the behavioral issues that we see people getting hooked to currently. Yeah.
I'll get back to that bit about the internet one, because I might be affected. Dr. Sarah, has the society accepted addiction as a recurring problem?
In some instances, yes, and others, we find people have not really come to accept there is addiction. And I think as Dr. Jane has tried to describe or to define what addiction is, I think what happens is people think it's something that has started in somebody's life, or somebody has incorporated a kind of a lifestyle, has adopted a kind of a lifestyle, and they don't want to see the other side of it, being that this person may not be able to do without that particular habit or behavior or that substance. So it takes long for people to say this is addiction. So the society, in one way or the other, because of ignorance and because of the kind of belief that this is something that you can start and stop tomorrow, in one way or the other, they may not have accepted that there is addiction. So addiction is actually understood after a long time, or after a long period of time, is when people will say, for sure, this is now a problem. They may not even know it's addiction, but they call it a problem, of which we know that addiction actually becomes a problem. Some people will even say it's a family disease because at some extent when it cannot be overcome, now people will go to another level of thinking, now this is a disease. Yes.
Do you think denial is a big factor?
Yes, there is actually a lot of denial. A lot of denial to the extent that we make it go to the extremes, even to find the person getting to recover or to be treated. People are still in the denial. And they go round and round things until they come to say, wow, this is the problem that we have in our community, in our family. Yes.
Dr. Jane, is there a common type of addiction?
Yes, especially I think alcohol. Alcohol cuts across. You find that even small children in Kenya, the report is that children in primary schools are already abusing alcohol and drugs. And alcohol is one of the most abused drug, and it causes addiction a lot. I think, yeah.
Dr. Rahab, are there signs of addiction, and what are they?
Oh yeah, there are signs of addiction. When somebody gets addicted to a substance, their personality will change. So you'll find somebody who was keen on the things that they are doing, they are no longer keen. Somebody may neglect hygiene. They may look unkempt. Somebody may neglect to eat well. They may not feed the way they are supposed to feed. You may find somebody will begin to shake and have tremors. Sometimes you may find somebody, maybe they are using money. There is that need for money, which is, not normal. They consistently need money. So because of this, you may find that they are picking things maybe from the house and selling them because they need the money so that they can facilitate the substance, that the use of the substance. So you'll find that when somebody starts doing those things, then you know that they are into abuse. You also find that somebody may have a problem with health. Their health may start deteriorating. Depending on the substance that they are hooked on, you may find things like there will be teeth decay. Like if somebody is hooked on a cat, generally known as miraa, you find that their teeth will get affected. And there are also other deeper issues, like you may find there could be issues which are biological. In some cases, I have seen some research reports say that some of those substances may cause, there's something we call spermatoria. And it has been found like these people who are seriously addicted to miraa will suffer spermatoria. Spermatoria is where the sperms will just come out on their own. And you may find that people may need to use diapers for that. Those are extreme cases, but they are happening. In other words, depending on the substance that one is addicted to, you'll find biological signs, you'll find physical signs, you'll find emotional signs, and sometimes for the non-chemical addictions, you find gambling. You find that somebody is spending too much time in clubs doing the gambling. They neglect their other duties. Somebody who is addicted to the internet, they're spending all their time online, and they may forget to do other important chores. So all those are signs of addiction, and many others maybe that we have not enumerated.
Dr. Sarah, what role does the family play when it comes to addiction and an addict's life?
As we have been saying, the family is the main support system at any one time. And I do wish to inform the community or our society that in the event that this happens, that you have an addict in the family or you have somebody with an addiction disorder, there is need to take a step. One, we need to know what are the symptoms, like Dr. Rehab and Dr. Jane have mentioned. What are the symptoms? You need to understand and get to know what is this that is coming out very clearly on this person who is in addiction. Get to know the signs, get to know the symptoms, and then after that, take a step. Get to know the level of addiction this person is engaged into. We are the people to understand or to know the change of this person you are with in the house, the change in behavior, the change in how they present themselves, the change they have maybe in dressing, the change they have in keeping themselves. And then once you get to know there is a change, then now take a step. These steps, as we shall be informed by the psychologists, they will tell us the first thing you need to understand is get to know where do you get this treatment. And first also get to know what may have contributed to this. Could it be that these substances are easily available? They are accessible to this person. Could it be that you're even giving this person excess money? Could it be the person is more addicted to technology because there is available internet all the time? And then after that, you may try to also seek now professional help. So you have already known what might have contributed to this. And now you go to the professionals and they tell us, what do we do about it? So you cannot just withdraw everything at the same time. That is where the professionalism comes in, because the person will tell you, this person seemed to be taking excess alcohol, or he has been taking heroin, he has been taking this, and now the way to do it is either we withdraw gradually or we also try to rehabilitate this person in this manner, depending on what extent are they in terms of addiction.
Did you know that Mount Kenya University is the most affordable university in Kenya, where you can attain your internationally recognized degree within 3 calendar years? Did you know that we have the highest number of campuses in Kenya, equipped with state-of-the-art facilities to develop you academically and socially? Join the most popular private university in Kenya and start your fulfilling higher education journey. Mount Kenya University, unlocking infinite possibilities.
Angry at dad for having a second family, yet you've been your best friend's husband.
What do you want me to do about it? Let my fellas die?
I'm tired. We need to talk.
Is addiction hereditary?
Oh, well, we can find addiction in the family line. And sometimes when we look into families, we'll see, you can trace addiction from quite far in the family. And also the other thing that we need to know is that one of the causes of addictions is genetic. So there are some families that are predisposed. So you may find that maybe an uncle was using, a father was using, the grandfather, and so on and so forth. So you find it in family line. So it is important for somebody, before they start to get engaged into alcohol use, it is important for them to find out what kind of a family am I coming from, because some families are predisposed. Just because of that genetic predisposition, you may find that somebody is taking alcohol and just a little bit, and they get into addiction. So, and that is why it is very important for somebody to know that you don't have to take alcohol because your peers are taking. Because you may be coming from a family that is predisposed. And knowing that addiction is a disease, you know, So sometimes you may find that this family is predisposed because of their genetic inclination, just like sometimes you may find a family is...
but Dr. Rehab, with the way stigma surrounds addiction, do you think it's the families that might not be very forthcoming about such?
One thing that we need to understand is that in our culture, families do not want to associate themselves with weakness. And it is general. So when a member of the family is addicted, the family would rather be closed about it. They will not come out about it. They don't want to look like, they have that weakness. So they will call it a weakness. And sometimes they will not even address it in good time. So you may find that they will shield themselves from, coming out to say that we have this kind of...
And for you to be aware whether or not such history exists, it could be hard, yeah?
It could be hard. But these are things that these days it is not as hard. Because what you need to know is maybe just check the family tree. What has been happening over time in the family. Of course, we are coming from that background where people have maybe taken alcohol in weddings, these have been part of life. Alcohol in the families, alcohol in the clans. And so you can be able to trace what was happening when they took even that traditional liquor, because it was also alcoholic. What was happening with the grandfathers? What happened with the fathers? What happened with the uncles? How many people have a problem with drinking in the family, even as we speak? So it is something that one can be able to find out. And even as in psychology, we are able to help somebody to get back in the family tree, to trace their addiction cycles over time. And that is a way of telling whether you are predisposed. And so one is able to, to be careful before they get into it. Yeah.
Dr. Jane, in an instance where a pregnant woman is an addict and they're abusing, whether it's drug abuse, whether it's any other form of addiction, how can that affect the unborn child?
Yeah, in case where the mother is pregnant, there is a high risk of the child is predisposed to a certain degree. You realize that especially if the mother is abusing hard drugs, heroin, crack, and such, they might transmit to the child. The doctors have a way of maybe assisting the child when they are born, and probably they may lead a normal life. And sometimes the child is safe. There are some miracles that happen in the labor ward where mothers who have been abusing drugs get normal babies. But pregnancy, motherhood is a call not to get themselves in alcohol, smoking, or any other substance or non-substance addiction. Because definitely the child is innocent, and you don't want to bring up a child with a lot of disability or retarded babies, because research indicates that sometimes babies are born retarded. There is what we call the fetal syndrome, where mothers who abuse substances give birth to retarded babies who will carry the burden all their life because of something that a person could have abstained if they had information. And it is true that many people lack information, and this is important to do campaigns and to educate pregnant mothers, young couples, the body is so sacred, because even the baby you carry has a future, and mistakes that people make in the parties, drinking or doing all these behaviors can bring a lifetime of sorrow to the family, and especially to the child.
And can the child end up being an addict?
In some instances, it can happen that the child, now because they are predisposed, like Dr. Rehab have said, they can also become addicts in the future. There is always that fear that it's a pattern, the family pattern, that is transmitted in the family line. Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Sarah, has the society contributed in the growth of addiction? And if so, how?
One, have we put enough prevention measures on issues of substance accessibility? I believe right now as we speak, if you go to almost all the shopping centers, you'll find there is wine and spirit shop. And this has contributed that even if one was feeling that they are tired or they are lonely, you know, if there was some difficult to access these substances, then it means they would take long to get there. But now it's readily available. Every shopping center, so it's just a walking distance and you get the substances. The issue of unemployment for among our youths, it has created a lot of anxiety and being idle, to the extent that they want to keep themselves busy at the shopping center. And what do they find when they go to the shopping centers? They find cheap wines and spirit that they can consume. We also find the issues of peer pressure. It's a lot amongst our people, amongst our youths. And so that is also something that has contributed. We are also having maybe information that has not been scientifically proven in terms of issues of taking things like what my sister, my Dr. Rehab has said about Mira. You know, people think that when you consume Mira, it can add more energy and add libido. But is it scientifically proved? So we find there is a lot of information that is out there that is not scientifically proved on what the substance is used. And so that in one way or the other, because of people's ignorance and lack of knowledge, they have gotten into issues of addiction without knowing. The issue of people having families that are dysfunctioning, it has also contributed in one way or the other. People won't feel that when they take this alcohol, when they take these other substances, they will think that in one way or the other they'll find relaxation, or they'll find sorrows in them. So at the end of the day, they find themselves in addiction. So the community, the society in one way or the other may have contributed, but I think there's need for much awareness creation, much of educating our people and telling them what the consequences and the risks are, because I think that is also something amiss. We only come to the knowledge that somebody is addicted or there is addiction when we see somebody maybe collecting papers along the roads. But addiction, it doesn't just come at that latter end. It starts early enough. So the society should be educated so that they know what is this that causes addiction, and how do you get to know you are at the addiction level. And I think generally, if the society would condemn also evil on the face, you know, telling the government what is happening and informing the government that this is happening. There is a lot of bangi or weed selling in our community. Today we have what you call nyumba kumi. But I ask myself, are we telling the community, are we telling the government, are we informing the administration, are we enough on where the weed is being bought and where it's being sold? Are we telling them who are the drug peddlers within our nyumba kumi? Are we telling our people that this and this is happening? I think that is also some of the things that in one way or the other, they may have contributed to drug addiction among our people. Yes.
So, Dr. Riz, I'm being told my time is up. I'll just give you 1 minute to give a parting shot. I know there's a lot more that we can discuss on this topic, so maybe we'll do another part 2 in the coming weeks. Just a small parting shot as we finish up. Dr. Jen, I'll start with you.
Yeah, let's all be aware that there's something called addiction, and it's a dangerous thing to find yourself or to find your child in it or your spouse. And if we fight it, we are able to win the battle.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that the government has taken a huge step into dealing with the issues of substance abuse. And the case in point is what Pastor Dorcas, the second lady, is doing. And because it has been a problem, a major problem of addictions, and it has been overlooked over time. And I'm so glad that at least now we have something happening. And for us in psychology, we feel we are being helped because now out there is information, and the government is going right into the grassroots, which is a good thing. And my hope is that we shall see positive results sooner than later.
Absolutely. Dr. Sarah?
I would urge young people out there not to try drug or substance abuse, because it has more than the consequences, and the risks are more than the joy they may enjoy in substance abuse. Thank you.
Thank you so much for making time. We truly appreciate all your expertise here at Beyond the Limit, and of course you're welcome to be back again and again. That's all the time we had for you this week. Personally, I was able to learn that addiction is a disease, number one, and number two, let's call addiction by its name. Let's not say it's witchcraft, let's not say it's bad behavior, let's call it by what it is. That's all the time we had for you this week. I've been your host, Zainab Mohammed. Until next time, goodbye.
Ready for a heartwarming experience like never before on Safer Sunday. You are cordially invited to the Royal Assembly Church.
When you understand spiritual principles, you take charge on the earthly realm. Jesus paid the price for you and I to bring us unto the Father, to have